everybody, KC0VI Tom. We're going to try to keep this short. I know last time I said we're going to keep it short and I went kind of long, got long-winded. We're going to call this video CJ1 Update 1. Due to the fact this is getting to be really exciting here about the ComJot CJ1 radio, nice little radio. This is the one, not the 26. Everybody's kind of interested in that. To me, it was, I didn't care much for it. This has more features on it. But for the people who are just dropping into the channel looking for information on the CJ1, a little bit about myself. I've been an amateur radio person for a long time, operator. And I'm trying to remember when I first got licensed. A long time ago, we'll just say that. I've always been active in the public safety sides of two-way radios. I did a little stint with E.F. Johnson up in Waseca, Minnesota. Worked with a couple dealers here in Austin, Minnesota, and around the area, around Mason City, helping out here and there. I am on the storm spotting team for Mitchell County and the city of St. Ansgar. And a little different down here, our sheriff's department, when the amateur radio people help out, they don't want us to be up on our repeater or on our 5.2 channel. They want us on their deputy dispatch channel. And they gave us their blessing, and they want us there for obvious reasons. We get a lot of information. Now, a lot of times we'll jump up to the local repeater, just BS a little bit, or contact one of the other Austin or Albert Lee on their repeater, just see how the storm's doing up there, which way it's coming. So, that's what we've been using. That's why I was kind of looking for a radio, VHF, UHF dual band, and along with a cell phone. That way, limited what I have to carry on my belt, and came across the B1. B1 is a nice little radio. It got some kind of weird quirks to it that I just don't understand. Probably because it wasn't really designed what I wanted to do. I think it was more to be a DMR radio, and they just threw the VHF, UHF for local contact and the cell phone, so you get one less thing to carry. When this ComJot CJ1 was announced back in May of 2024 at Hamvention, it was really interesting, and I was watching all the videos I could find on YouTube. I was reading everything I could find online, and decided, I think this would be a better radio than the B1, and we'll see what happens here. So I went to Gigaparts. Always had good luck with Gigaparts on ordering my equipment, and placed my advanced order and slowly paid for it. And it was about middle of September. All of a sudden, I get an email saying, hey, your package from Huntsville is on its way. It should be there in 2 days. I'm sitting there going, what did I order from Huntsville? So I had to actually dig around and come up with the credit card receipt. It was the CJ1. It was on the way. So I'm happier than a kid on Christmas morning. Radio shows up. I'm looking at it, open it up, going through it, reading everything, and all of a sudden it detected, the Android side of the B1. It says, hey, that radio you're getting, I'm replacing? Yes. Okay. Really? Walter wants to bang the chair. So it actually dubbed over all the software I had in the B1 onto the CJ1. And okay, then all of a sudden both radios just went black. I was kind of like, oh, what happened? You gotta remember, the B1 runs on Android 8, and the ComJot runs on 14. Yeah, 14. And but they both finally rebooted. I'm going through it, and I didn't see the app for the ComJot. It's supposed to have a CJ1 app or something like that to run the radio side. And went out and contacted ComJot, and it says, hey, I think I got a problem. Not sure if it's something I did or something like that. And I got a response almost, in a couple hours from Joe Hamburg, I believe his last name's Hamburg. Sorry, Joe, if I butchered your name. And he says, hey, contact me. Here's my number. So I called up, and he goes, where'd you order your radio from? I go, Gigaparts. Why? He goes, oh, okay. What had happened, they had sent information out to Gigaparts and a few other, HRO, that they have beta testers who've ordered radio from the big box stores instead of through ComJot. Here's the name, release them, and so we can get those radios going. They released the software to the beta testers. Well, Gigaparts accidentally shipped out a few extra radios, and I got one. I was not supposed to get one, and Joe was saying, and the guy was trying to be real nice and polite about it. He didn't want to have me explode on him or get all upset. Here, I bought this radio, now it's just going to be a paperweight. Now my dust of the software comes out. It does have some generic software to run the radio platforms called Intercom. You know, we talked about that a little. And I said, well, Jim, what's it going to take for me to be a beta tester? He goes, you're it. You know, you're a beta tester now. You know, so couple, you know, shortly after that, they sent word out that the beta software was released, and I got it installed in this. And let's take a look. Not quite sure how this is going to turn out, but first thing you got to do is get on Unified Radio's website and get registered. And it'll ask you about the radio and your information on to get yourself registered here. And when you register, this kind of locks the browser on this computer to my account. When I was at work the other day, I was going to play around with it, take a look at it, and it wouldn't let it load. Then all of a sudden I got an email stating verify, you know, a different browser. So you're kind of locked in. They don't want anybody just stumbling in. You got to be a registered user. And, you know, I was able to run on both here. But a lot of these features, again, since we're in beta software, a lot of these features are turned off. And they do that because here you got this great big application you're getting ready to release. And we're just going to work on a little section of it. So we'll keep that alive and we'll kind of lock down the other stuff so we can just concentrate on what we're going to work on. And if you ever worked in software, it seems like if you poke your finger over here, something over here kind of bloops up on you. So in here, this is pretty neat. It's going to keep track of your last call, you know, location, all that. It's got a map of the world, show you where it's at. You know, it kind of lists of kind of a running call log, your logbook. But over here, you got memories. This one caught my attention. You got zone manager. And I just quickly built these zones up. I got my VHF repeaters. Oops, yeah, maybe. No, not that one. Memory management, select zone. Here we go, over here. Bring down our VHF. These are all the repeaters I put in. This is roughly 50 miles out from my house. And we go to the UHF repeaters. This is the repeaters, again, about 40 miles out. UHF repeaters aren't that popular up here in northern Iowa, southern Minnesota. Now, to work with the county, when we go on storm spotting or any other emergency, I got a lot of their information here. And again, you got to remember, I do have the blessing from the county, the sheriff's department, to do this. Actually, the sheriff himself. And then we got what I call special. We got a couple crossband repeaters. Mobile units work in the national call channels for each UHF and VHF. Kind of interesting. And can I bug out of there? Say, yep, nope. Then we got your profile, which kind of breaks down who I am, email address, and it's got some other information here about the radios. And this is, you can go in and edit these and change it. Then the next one is your devices. You know, I got my CJ1 UV. Then the actual web browser we're on. Then any help tickets you put in is, you know, recorded here. And you can actually go through and breathe. It's kind of a neat idea. So let's take a look at the radio now. When you turn the radio on, you get into the Unified Radio app, or the CJ1 app. It's got a nice, good-sized display. You got your label, what it is. It tells you if you're, you know, simplex or duplex, and if you got any type of control tone, what it is. The gear brings up just some agreements you do and shows you your call sign the radio is registered to, the DMR, some special settings, and you click and get out of there. Over here is a play button. This will record the transmission and reception. I'm trying to figure out how to turn that off. It's not, for me, it's not that straightforward, but you can delete them really fast. The down here, scan, I saw, oops, down here is scan. I saw that and I just went, oh, it's like Christmas morning. If you hit it, it's not turned on yet. So I'm really interested on that. This is what I didn't like about the B1. The B1 does not scan. And if I'm out there working with the county or the local police or fire, and, you know, it's a storm condition, I want to be able to hear what the Austin group, what's the Outlet League group doing on their channels. They also, you know, hear what my local people are doing. To me, scan is extremely important. Even just scanning between sheriff's department and the fire department and the ambulance. You know, we may have somebody injured and we're waiting for the ambulance to get here. That gives me an idea of where the ambulance is. And options, again, that is not turned on right now. Voice, that used to, till a couple days ago, that was just an introductory to speech to text, where you could actually have like closed caption for the radio, which is a very good idea for the hearing impaired. And data used to say options not available. Now it doesn't do anything. Getting back to the channels and how you program this, there's the cloud memory, and this pulls the memories off the website that I showed you earlier and how you create it. For some reason, my fingers aren't working too good. And you select what zone you want. And when I'm at work in Mason City, I listen to the Mason City repeater. I'll switch over to the St. Annesley repeater. The other way you can do is Unified Radio Directory. That takes the GPS off from the phone, and it'll show you the nearest ones. You know, the one here in St. Annesley just popped up, and this will go out to like 99 channels, and 99 miles, and you know, you can just select through and hit what you want, and it'll ask you if you want to program the radio, and off you go. Now you got to remember, those two ways of programming are only good if you have cell phone data or Wi-Fi coverage. If you don't have either one of those, you cannot use that feature. But you can still just tap the screen, select analog, FM, or digital, manually punch in the frequency, your tone control, and off you go. And for you people out there and say, well, the cell phone networks never go down. Yeah, tell that to the people down in the southeast part of the country after those 2 hurricanes. I am really excited about this radio. Each time they do an update on the beta software, it's just kind of like, oh, yes. So like I said, the radio's got a lot of promise, and I believe it's got a good feel. My hands are quite big, and it's got a good feel to it. Right now, the only way I can charge is by using the USB-C on the side, which is kind of a nice feature. The drop-in charger is not available yet. I'm sure that's come down the road. I mean, if you go back and look at the first video I did on this, at the end, I said, I'm thinking about getting a drop-in charger, which I'm still going to. A handheld speaker mic. Now they come out with some type of earpiece. I want to see what's the difference between those. I really like having an earpiece when you're out doing, you know, storm work or, you know, parade duty, stuff like that. Where you're out in the public where you don't need to have your radio blast and where you just want to be able to listen to it yourself. And going that. Now, one thing I did say I was going to get a second battery. I was a little disappointed in this, how the battery on this one. I'm used to, most of the radios I have, the battery is part of the back case. You know, pull the cap, the tab off, and the battery comes out, and you put the new one on. On the ComJot, you got a tab in the back, you got to lift up, and the cover comes off, then you get to the battery. It's easily be done. It's a little clumsy, but I'll probably will get a second battery once batteries become available. There is a little clip that will go on the battery case, so you can put it on your belt. What I did, I took the case off because one of the guys on the ComJot chat room, he came across on Amazon these little leather cases that'll attach to your belt loop. It's got a belt loop, run your belt through there. And the radio can just slide right into there, and it's nice and protected. The screen's protected so it doesn't get scratched. A lot of times, I always like to put the radio with the face going in, so it's, you know, it's against yours. You know, it's not going to be scratched when you're walking around. Hopefully, we'll have more here in a couple weeks, or hopefully not that long. I mean, I'm just kind of, come on, Joe. Let's get more updates out. But again, if you never worked with bringing out a product in an engineering team, it's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background. Think of it as a living creature that they're working on. And like I said, to be working on this line of information, you go poke here, and all of a sudden something over here goes boop. You know, it's kind of like, oh, that wasn't supposed to happen, so you got to fix this. Okay, you got that pounded back, it's working, and all of a sudden something over here go boop. So you got to take a look at that. Then you bring in more of the product, you know, online, all the different features, and that could cause even more little problems. So you want to go through nice and slow and get it right. So one thing, and I'm glad they're doing it this way, you don't want to have your customers as your beta testers. You want to have them getting the final product where it's going to work, it's going to be dependable. I have a lot of hopes for this radio. I see a lot of good stuff coming out of this radio, and I will try to keep it, when I get new stuff coming down, we'll try to throw up another little video, and we'll go from there. I don't know if you can hear it. We got top wind speed up to 35, 40 miles an hour today. It's temperature's dropping. We had a high of like 35 degrees this morning. Yeah, I was at 6 this morning. And right now, we got 10 degrees. Yeah, that's 12 degrees below freezing for you people down south of the Mason-Dixon line. Remember what can happen when we get down to minus 20. If that happens again, we'll throw that up here on the video. So 7-3 everybody, take care. Be sure to tell your friends, neighbors, other hams. Subscribe, hit that bell to get notification when new videos come out. Add comments below. 7-3 everybody.